It ain't the left side or the right side, and it must be the FinSide. It ain't the left side.
Thank you, Solo D. Welcome to another episode of On the FinSide here with Kat and Paul. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I'm Brian Cat, NFL. Paul is Fanatic_Pick on Twitter. The Dolphins continuing with their massive draft haul here in the fifth round with North Carolina defensive lineman Jason Strowbridge. And it's pretty rare, Paul, that we get into the fifth round and you specifically have a couple of players that you're like, man, I really want to draft him, because there's so many players you can draft at this point. But Strowbridge was very high on my list. I mean, I remember after Senior Bowl week, we were talking about Strowbridge as maybe a second or third round pick. Dolphins get him here in the fifth round.
I still had him rated as a second or third rounder. I love the positional versatility. I was on the presser with him after he got drafted, and he's completely comfortable inside, outside, five technique, you name it, and really can play anywhere along the defensive line. I expect him to be more of an edge guy on early downs and kick into that middle on pass rush downs and be able to get after the passer from the middle of that defense and wreak some havoc. I loved this pick, especially after one pick after they traded away to get Matt Breida.
Yeah, talking about knocking it out of the park there in the fifth round. I mean, 6'4", 275 pounds, can play inside and outside, like you said. He did 26 bench press reps, ran under a 4.9. He didn't have the greatest production there at North Carolina. In fact, this past year he only had, I believe it was 2.5 sacks. And 6 tackles for loss. But he's also not somebody who isn't a stand-up outside position. He's more of a kind of do the dirty work inside type of guy. But throughout the process here, it looked like he was climbing, and then the coronavirus pandemic hit, and he wasn't able to interview with teams or showcase a lot of his individual talent. So I think he was hurt a lot here by what's happened over the last 6 weeks.
I think we were helped a lot by what happened over the last 6 weeks. Let's go with the glass half full approach there. This is a guy I fully expected to go far earlier. I mean, he's strong as an ox with 26 reps in the bench press. He's got great jumping ability. He's a leader along that line. He's from Deerfield Beach High. I mean, good Lord, like coming home to his hometown team here. And the fact that he's as big and strong as he is, and one of the things Flores said in one of the conference calls was that he didn't put as much of an emphasis on players' stats, because sometimes at the NFL level, for these football players, they can be doing everything right, and the stats just don't fall their way. And sometimes they don't do anything right. For some reason, the stats do fall their way. So you can't just look at the stats for some of these guys. So, yeah, he diminished statistically in some areas, but, I mean, the guy blocked, I believe, 4 kicks the last 3 years, and there's a lot of guys Miami drafted that blocked kicks, including one of their offensive linemen. Can play special teams, can rush the passer from the middle, can set the edge against the run. You're not going to overpower him with a lot of guys. And, he's got the length and he's got a lot of short area quickness. This guy was an absolute steal in the fifth round. I love the fifth round. It may have been my favorite out of all the rounds because they got a running back and they got Strowbridge and they still had another selection waiting for him.
Absolutely. And, if you're looking for somebody who's going to get 10 sacks a year, this Strowbridge is not your guy, but he does the other things so very well. I mean, I'm looking at some of the scouting reports here in front of me and what people are saying. PFF, their definition of him, and very well said, is he's a throwback 3-4 defensive end type. He'll fit teams in need of a base run-stuffing defensive end. Asking him to do anything more than that as a pass rusher might be pushing it. But that's all we're looking for here in the fifth round. And again, you take a look at how many snaps like Avery Moss played last year for the Dolphins and never made a play. I think that alone makes Strowbridge somebody who can get into this rotation very, very quickly.
I agree. And I love this pick. I absolutely loved this pick. I can't say enough good. I think he's going to be a big part of this defense. And at the end of the day, he's a versatile football player. on defense as we go to a more and more positionless defense in that front seven.
And that will do it for our breakdown of Dolphins' fifth-round pick from North Carolina, Jason Strowbridge, 6'4", 275 pounds.
I didn't give a grade. A for me.
Oh, yeah.
A for me, based on the value in the round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an A as well. I love this pick. He's somebody that if the Dolphins had taken in the third round, I would have thought it was a pretty solid pick too. So, yeah, I'm going to go with an A as well. So that'll do it for our breakdown of Strowbridge. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I'm Brian Cat NFL. Paul is Fanatic_pick. And if it's not on the right side and it's not on the left side, it is on the fin side. Solo D, take us home.
It ain't the left side or the right side, then it must be the fin side. It ain't the left side or the right side, then it must be the fin side. Listen, Dolphins fans across the land all tuning